हेलो फ्रेंड्स, लेट्स आर द डिस्कस ऑफ एनटीए मॉक टेस्ट 118। बात करते हैं यहाँ पर क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 की। विच स्केलेटल टिश्यू इज फाउंड इन मैमेलियन पिन्ना इलास्टिक कार्टिलेज। क्वेश्चन नंबर सेकंड, रीड द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट ए टू डी and select the options that correct describes the features of sickle cell anemia. Okay, a gene HBS beta provides a classical examples of pleiotropy. correct है। फिर उसके बाद बात करते हैं बी की। इंक्रीज नंबर ऑफ कैरीज ऑफ सिकल सेल एनीमिया इन अफ्रीकन पॉपुलेशंस इज ड्यू टू नेचुरल सेलेक्शंस, ये भी करेक्ट है। फिर ऑप्शन डी की बात करते हैं ट्राइसोमी ऑफ एक्स क्रोमोसोम्स नो TCA causes hemolytic anemia and it causes increased resistance to malarial parasite. Question number third. In flowering plants, the total number of nuclei involved in double fertilization is 5. Question of 4. According to IUCN's Red Data Books, the craniate group which has maximum number of endangered species is mammals. Question of 5. Which of the following options exactly explain the concept of codominance displayed by a gene, both alleles independently expressed in the heterozygote? Question number 6. Seed dispersals in liverworts is added by elaters. Question number 7. Which of the following rules describes that mammals of colder areas generally have shorter extremities in comparison to the tropical mammals? Allen's rule. Question number 8. In C4 plants, the number of ATP and NADPH required to produce one glucose molecule is ATP30 and NADPH12. Question number 9. Select the demographic features of developing countries: high fertility, low or rapidly falling mortality rate, rapid population growth, and a very young age distributions. Question number 10. Which of the following source hold simple leaves with reticulate venetions? Type of phyllotax is also Alstonia. Question number 11. हालांकि ये आउट ऑफ NCERT है। Question number 12. Sewage treatment will reduce BOD. Question number 13. Hypersensitivity is caused due to release of immune IgE. Question number 14. From the following mentioned pathways, which pathways does not use the pyruvate which is produced during glycolysis? Pentose phosphates pathway. Question number 15. The vector PBR322 used in gene cloning is basically for modified bacterial plasmid. Question number 16. Which of the following statements is incorrect about a plant cell is leucoplasts are bound by two membranes and lack pigments? फिर बात भी करते हैं the secretions of cells are packed in the Golgi body. फिर option C, mitochondria help in the phosphorylation. This is not so correct, but option D, in 80S ribosomes, S indirectly refers to the measures of density and size. Question number 17. Cretinism occurs due to hypersecretions of thyroid hormones. Question number 18. Which of the following options is correct with respect to an examples of divergent evolutions? Wings of birds, sparrow and flippers of whale. Question number 19. Zoophily की बात करते हैं। Zoophily is also related for pollinations by animals. फिर ornithophyly is also pollinations by bird. फिर entomophilia is also related for pollinations by insects. फिर option D, chiropterophilia is also related for pollinations by bats. Question number 20. Based on the origins and evolutions of life, which of these statements is false? The first cellular forms of life were probably chemoheterotrophic prokaryotes. फिर ऑप्शन बी की बात करते हैं। चार्ल्स डार्विन concluded that existing living forms share similarities to varying degrees not only among themselves but also with life forms that existed millions of years ago. ये करेक्ट है बट ऑप्शन सी अकॉर्डिंग टू डार्विन वेरिएशंस आर स्मॉल एंड डायरेक्शनलेस नो लार्ज होते हैं डायरेक्शनलेस फिर evolutions for Darwin's was gradual while De Vries believed mutations caused speciation. Question number 21. Select the incorrect statements regarding Bhopal gas tragedy. Methyl isocyanate gas leakage took place. ये correct है फिर thousands of humans being dead ये भी correct है radioactive falls out in Gulf Bhopal's no. Option D. It took place in the night of December 29 29 December no this is no 1984 3 3 and 4 दिसंबर को हुआ था क्वेश्चन नंबर 22 which of the following antibodies are involved in the lysis of foreign cells immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin Z क्वेश्चन नंबर 23 ये बैक्टीरियोफेज का डायग्राम है वायरसेस दैट इन्फेक्ट्स बैक्टीरिया बैक्टीरियोफेज Question 24. What kind of relationship is shown by the cuscuta with the host plant? Ectoparasitism. Question number 25. Which statement is true about the structures of polysomes that is involved in the protein synthesis? They are complex of ribosomes attached to a single strand of RNA. They are found in prokaryotes. Okay. Question number 26. The deficiency symptoms of nutrients like calcium and sulfur appears first in young tissues and leaves. Okay, the sulfur and calcium are immobile elements. Both the statements are true. Question number 27. Which of the following properties of flowers is correct about Oryza sativa bisexuals with unilocular ovary? Question number 28. Which of the following describes similarity between vegetative reproductions and apomixis? Both produce progeny identical to the parent. Question number 29. And examples of metalloprotein is ferritin, okay, alcohol dehydrogenase. Question number 30. यहाँ पर given below statements are regards emphysemas read and choose okay it is chronic disorders correct है क्या emphysema हो correct है major cause of its cigarette smoking ये भी correct है it is an allergy no alveolar walls are damaged ये भी correct है respiratory surface is decreased ये भी correct है फिर it is due to inflammations of bronchi and bronchioles no damaged question was 31 at the time of fertilization the embryosac of a typical dicot plant is 7-celled question was 32 modifications in the cell theory was proposed by Rudolf Virchow question 33 correctly match with respect to vascular bundles Diarch type is also related for tomato फिर ट्राइआर्च पी उसके बाद फिर टेट्राज कैस्टर्स फिर पॉलियार्स फॉर मैच क्वेश्चन 34 नेम द हार्मोन्स थ्रू दो द synthesized elsewhere is stored and released by the master's gland antidiuretic hormones question 35 which of the following do not show reductions divisions haploids bacteria meristems all of these question 36 why a plant disease caused by astrilago is called smut affected parts becomes completely black question 37 which of the following process given below will lead to additions of new alleles in a populations migrations and mutation question 38 dorsal flat triangular body having elevated ridge called a chromian process is seen in scapula question 39 identify the false pair related to growth regulations functions डी लीव सेनेसेंस साइटोकाइनिन, उसके बाद फिर बात करते हैं बी की इंड्यूस ग्रोथ इन एक्सिलरी बर्ड्स ऑक्सिन्स, नो दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट, बॉल्टिंग इन रोसेटी प्लांट्स जिब्रेलिन्स, फिर इंड्यूस्ड स्टोमाटल क्लोजर्स ए बी ए। Question of 40. Maximum reabsorption of useful substances from the filtrates takes place in PCT. Question of 41. Which of the following will not be affected upon an injury to the auditory nerves? Taste is not affected, but hearing's dynamic equilibrium, static equilibrium are affected. Question of 42. Tetradynamus stamens is a characteristic features of brassicaceae. Question of 43. Banana is a seedless fruit because they are parthenocarpic. Question of 44. From the list of plants given below, select the ones which do not produce flowers and seeds but have xylem and phloem. सिलेजिनेला, उसके बाद फिर है इक्विसिटम के बाद फिर टेरिस्टेस के बाद साइलोटम। Question of 45. An organ receiving only oxygenated blood in humans is brain. Question of 61. 46. With respect to aerobic respirations, choose the incorrect statements. Okay. Glycolysis occurs in cytosols. फिर ऑप्शन बी की बात करते हैं, glycolysis operates as long as it is supplied with NAD that can pick up hydrogen atoms. फिर ऑप्शन सी, enzymes of TCA cycles are present in mitochondrial matrix. Oh, this is correct. फिर ऑप्शन डी, oxidative phosphorylation takes place in the outer membrane of mitochondria. No, inner membrane of mitochondria. Question 47. Biofortification refers to plants having improved nutritional quality. Question of 48. Which of the following laws is violated due to the discovery of linkage, law of independent assortment? Question of 49. The commercial source of pearl is pinctada. Question of 50. Which of the following are included in the choroid of eye, iris and ciliary body? Question of 51. ELISA is an advanced technique of molecular biology which is used for diagnostic purpose. Question of 52. The hormone that has been produced successfully by genetic engineering is human insulin. Question of 53. The external solutions should be hypertonic to initiate cells plasmolysis. Question of 54. What is the functions of AVA, leaf, all senescence and dormancy? Question of 55. Which of the following is incorrect pairing in reference to seed? Okay. Coleorhiza's radical for protections, micropyle pore of the seed, absorptions of water. फिर ऑप्शन सी की बात करते हैं, पेरिस फॉर इंटेगुमेंट्स नरिशमेंट्स, दिस इज नॉट सो करेक्ट, बट हाइलम स्कार ऑफ द सीड attachment. Question of 56. Select the correct match with respect to disease and its causative agents. Syphilis, Treponema pallidum. Question 57. Placenta reduces hormones progesterone. Question 58. Mangifera indica indicates genus and species. Question 59. यहाँ पर स्टेटमेंट दो दिए हैं, इसमें पूछा है कौन सा करेक्ट है कौन सा इनकरेक्ट है. ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट आर डिसअपियरिंग फास्ट फ्रॉम डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज सच एज इंडिया, एक करेक्ट है. ऑप्शन सेकंड की बात करते हैं, नो वैल्यूज इज अटैच टू दीज फॉरेस्ट बिकॉज दीज आर पुअर इन बायोडाइवर्सिटी, ये भी करेक्ट है. Question 60. Phosphorylation involving photosystems operating at 700 nanometer produces only ATP. Question 61. Which of the following is the ultimate energy source of all ecosystems? Solar radiation. Question 62. Numbers of bones in the forelimbs of a man is 30. Question 63. Choose the correct statements about viruses. Viruses are obligate parasite. Question 64. Select the correct option such which suits to below blanks. First linkage map was developed in Drosophila. फिर ऑप्शन बी की बात करते हैं, कॉर्न्स डिस्कवर्ड इनकम्प्लीट डोमिनेंस. फिर कैरियोटाइप ऑफ क्लाइनफिल्टर्स इन ह्यूमंस इज 47XXY. फिर ऑप्शन डी की बात करते हैं, इन कैपिटल ए स्मॉल ए कैपिटल बी कैपिटल. उसके बाद यहाँ पर देखा जाए 8 टाइप 2 into 2 into 2, 2 to the 4, 4. Okay. Oh, okay, correct. 8 here. Question number 65. Release of excretory products in amoeba takes place through contractile vacuole. Question number 66. When two parents of genotypes. Okay, ये question 6.25. Question number 67. Which of the following options is incorrect? Acrosomes contains sperm license that help in fertilization. फिर न्यूक्लियस फिर कंटेंस डीएनए. उसके बाद ऑप्शन सी की बात करते हैं डिजिटल स्टार्स क्लियर इन द zygote centrioles. This is not so correct, but middle piece contains mitochondria which produce energy for the movements of tail. Question number 68. The enzymes used as molecular seizures in genetic engineering are mainly obtained from prokaryotes. Question number 69. Match the two columns about the human reproductive systems and select the correct options. Okay, hypothalamus is also related for growth regulatory hormones. फिर एक्रोसोम is also related for sperm license. फिर ग्राफियन follicles is also related for ऑप्शन सी for ग्राफियन follicles is also related for estrogens. फिर लीडिक सेल्स की बात करें लीडिक सेल्स also related for टेस्टोस्टेरोन. फिर पार्चुलेशंस की बात करते हैं पार्चुलेशंस also relate for relaxin. Question number 70. What is the main functions of internephridia of erythema excretions of nitrogenous wastes? Question number 71. Molecules of acids insoluble fractions of living tissues having a molecular weight greater than 1/10,000 Daltons are called biomacromolecules. One exception to this concept is lipids. Question number 72. Find out the odd one out with respect to salience features of HGP. Okay, more than 2% of the genome's code for the proteins. No, the functions are unknown for over 50% of discovered genes. फिर ऑप्शन सी की बात करते हैं the chromosomes first has most genes, that is 2968. The average gene consists of 3000 bases. Question number 73. Nuclear membrane facilitate the nucleocytoplasmic exchange of material. Question number 74. With respect to regulations of breathing, select the incorrect statement. Chemoreceptors are present in the aortic arc. Okay. Chemoreceptors are present in the carotid arteries. But option C की बात करते हैं increase in PO2 in arterial blood stimulate the chemoreceptors. No. फिर ऑप्शन डी की बात करते हैं changes in the CO2 and proton and concentration influence the rhythmic center. Question number 75. A genetically engineered variety of tobacco plant has been created to have resistance to against a nematode. Question number 76. Phagocytosis is carried out by neutrophils and monocytes. Question number 77. Release of nitrogenous pollutants in a lake causes sudden death of a lot of fishes, such as lake is eutrophic lake. Question number 78. The enzymes lactose hydrolysis lactose into glucose and galactose. Question number 79. Select the dihybrid in dihybrid conditions capital T small t capital R small r. Question number 80. Which of the following is false for insulin? Insulin promotes lipolysis and inhibits lipogenesis. No. It binds to glycoproteins receptors on the cell membrane. फिर सी की बात करते हैं इट्स डेफिशिएंसी लीड्स टू डायबिटीज़ मेलाइटस. फिर ऑप्शन डी की बात करते हैं इट्स ओवर सीक्रेशंस लीड टू इंसुलिन शॉक्स. Question 81. Which of the following is substitute of fossil fuel? Zetrofa. Question 82. Paleontologists unearthed a human skull during excavations. A small fragments of the scalp tissue was still attached to it. Only a little DNA could be extracted from it. If the genes need to be analyzed, the best way of getting a sufficient amount of DNA from this extract is by subjecting the DNA to polymerase chain reactions. Question 83. Which of the following is by are the primary lymphatic organs? The red bone marrow of the flat bones. Okay, the red bone marrow in the epiphysis of long bones of adults for thymus. Question 84. As the age of humans male progress, their hair gradually starts thinning and it is due to lowering of synthesis of proteins. Question 85. Study the figures representing the greenhouse effects given below carefully and identify the correct options based on it. Much of the long wavelength infrared radiations radiated by the Earth's surface are absorbed by the atmospheric greenhouse gases for CO2, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, N2O are gases which responsible for the greenhouse 60% for 20%, 14% for 6%. The atmosphere is transparent to the incoming short wavelength radiations and it's translucent to the long wavelength of infrared radiation. Question number 86. Functions of the phragmoplast is to act as contractile ring produced during cytokinesis in the animals. Okay, no. फिर precursors to cell plate produced during cytokinesis in plants. Correct. क्योंकि furrow method. Okay. Animal cells divided by the cell furrow method. Question number 87. Which of the following sclerenchymatous fibers is the odd one out? Cotton. Question number 88. What will be the sequence of RNA if the sequence of the sense strand is as follow? RNA की बात करते हैं सिर्फ यूरेसिल चेंज होगा, यूरेसिल थाइमिन की जगह यूरेसिल आ जाएगा, बाकी एज इट इज रहेगा. Question number 89. To maintain the ecosystem, majority of its members must be producers. Question number 90. Flagellated protozoans are usually found to either free living or are parasites. इस प्रकार आपके 90 क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट होते हैं. आई होप आप लोगों को वीडियो पसंद आई होगी, तो प्लीज़ वीडियो को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लाइक एंड शेयर करें और प्लीज़ जिन लोगों ने अभी तक चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया प्लीज़ चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लिया. थैंक्स वॉच फॉर दिस वीडियो और मिलते हैं जल्दी एक नए वीडियो के साथ.